Modern Women Tutorials. Dating a bad boy. Now I understand because as a guy, we like bad girls. Right? But the difference is that we understand, well, most of us who are smart anyway, right? We understand this like, well, we pick them because they're a bad girl, right? Or you ladies pick guys because they're bad boys. The difference is that y'all get obsessed with wanting the bad boy to be a good boy. You want him to be bad, but you also want him to be good, and that's a contradiction. Because you chose him because he's bad, but then you complain that he's bad all the time. It's like, well, that's who he was. He wasn't going to be bad when it was convenient for you. He was going to be a bad boy when you want him to be a bad boy. If he's a bad boy, then he's just going to be a bad boy, right? Especially, it should be obvious by now, guys, when they're a certain type of they have a certain type of behavior, they'll be like that consistently until they change, and they have to want to change. They're the ones who change, right? So you getting a bad boy and trying to change it to a good boy never works. He has to want to change. So that's why it's better to just get the good boy, because a good boy more likely, he's already going to be a good boy. Now there is a balance, but that's very rare to find a guy who can give you a balance of bad boy and good boy. So you have to choose. This is why it's like I always give the advice is like, if you're going to be with a bad boy, accept that he's a bad boy and never complain about it. It's not logical to complain about bad boy being a bad boy. Because I don't complain about bad girls being bad girls. It surprises me when I pick them as the bad girl, and then they start being all nice and sweet and start changing. It's like, oh damn it, you're supposed to be the bad girl, right? That was what you. That's what you were for. That's the category I put you in, the bad girl. This is kind of like a chick suddenly, wanting to stop hot girl summer and wants to settle down and be a housewife. Is like, oh damn, that's not what I picked you for. For all that, I would have picked the chick who already was that. Right? I was picking you as the bad girl, so I expect you to stay as the bad girl, right? In that scenario. So for you ladies, it's the same thing. If you want to be with a bad boy or fuck boy, right? These alpha males, right? These assholes, then accept that that's who they are. That's how they're gonna be, and they're probably gonna be like that for a long, long time, or until the day they die. The choice is yours. But if you're gonna deal with them, accept what comes with them. Accept that that's what they are. Right? It's like dating a cop, and then 2 weeks in, you want him to leave the police force and go work a 9 to 5 or something, right? Like flipping burgers at McDonald's or something. It's like, what? No. You picked them because there were certain qualities you liked, and those qualities, well, they're not disappearing. They're still there. It's just suddenly you want him to change because you started changing. Because you stopped liking the bad boy stuff. It's like, for all that, you were better off messing with a bad boy, letting him know, why you're with him is because he's the bad boy, because you're having fun, and this might be temporary. Don't try to make it like, oh, we'll be together forever type bullshit, and then it doesn't last that long because y'all can't handle stuff like this. That's the main thing. Because if you don't really live the same life as the guy you're interested in, you're not going to like it for a long period of time. You're going to like it for the short time, yeah, but not for the long time. A lot of relationships fall apart 90% of the time because of you ladies. Because y'all want the relationship to change instead of what's not going to change. You dated a bad boy, he's going to stay a bad boy. That's just how that works. If he changes, cool, and if you accept the changes, cool too, but there's a high mathematical probability that's not going to happen. He's not going to change. And I'm going to say, he's definitely not going to change for you. He more likely will change for somebody else. Right? Because here's the thing. You picked him because it was a bad boy. So there's no need for him to change if being a bad boy is how he got you in the first place. And if he gets a whole bunch of chicks being a bad boy, then he'll be a bad boy. But here's the time a guy typically changes. It's when he wants a specific chick, but she doesn't like the bad boy. That's when he turns into a good boy. That's when he tries to stop being a bad boy. That's when he changes. When the woman he wants, he really, really wants, is chasing, that's when he changes. He doesn't change when you're chasing him. He changes when he's chasing you or chasing, a woman that he wants. So guys only change because it's like the concept of hunting, right? You need the proper bait. So if you can get all these chicks by being a bad boy, then you're just gonna be a bad boy, and that's the bait. That's how you get the girls, right? But if being a good boy gets you women, then you'll be a good boy, right? So it's the same thing. So like I said, if he wants to change into a good boy, it's more likely because there's a chick he wants and she likes good guys and he wants to be the good guy for her. So if you're with a bad boy, but you want him to be a good boy, well, you're more likely not the one because you accepted him as a bad boy. So he has no immediate need to even change. So main point is, I'm not against you ladies choosing the bad boy or choosing a guy you find attractive. Just accept that, well, you picked him because you found him attractive or because he was the bad boy. And that's it. Do not use anything else to justify you disproving of that decision. It's like you chose him because of something simple and superficial, which was he was a bad boy or he was attractive. That's the reason you should still be with him. That's the reason you should still like him. You shouldn't change just because, I want him to be a good boy. It's like, well, it doesn't work that way. That's why you have, guys plan for the future. So when guys think about, being with a chick, all right, this is a bad girl, this is a chick for fun, but for the long term, I need a good girl. So that's our mindset. We don't have this whole, we'll take the bad girl and live happily ever after with a bad girl. No. But your ladies always have this habit of doing that. Thinking, I can take the bad boy, have fun for a bit, but then eventually he'll turn into the good boy and we'll live happily ever after. Nope, doesn't work that way. That's why a lot of stories has the woman end up with the hero, the good guy, not the villain. Right? The villain wants the girl most of the time in some stories, but she doesn't want the bad boy. In those stories, she wants a good guy, and then the good guy comes in and saves the day, that kind of stuff. But ironically, there are chicks who do like the bad boys here and there. So it's just the point I'm trying to make is a lot of y'all want the bad boy, but don't accept what comes with it. Y'all quick to complain, he was this, he was that, he was controlling, toxic, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, all the things you loved, all the things that turn you on, you were with him because of those qualities. You weren't with him because he was a good person. He follows rules. He pays his taxes. You picked him because he's the bad boy. The type of guy that would be chasing a whole bunch of the bad girls. And I get it. It's fun and exciting for the time being, right? But it's not that different from Halloween, where you dress up as a zombie, right? Or vampire. It's a little make-believe, a little bit of fantasy in your reality. But in the reality, 90% of the time, you ladies ultimately want a good man. But you ruin it by being with the bad boy. But I'm saying here is, if you're going to be with a bad boy, you got to accept that he's the bad boy. And go with it. I shouldn't be seeing you ladies on the internet complaining that, my ex was toxic, my ex was this and that. It's like, yeah, the things you liked, that was the point. You picked him because of all those qualities. You didn't pick him because he didn't have those qualities, because he wasn't an asshole. He wasn't a bad boy, a fuck boy, a guy who flirts with a bunch of women. He was like that when you met him. He wasn't a shy guy, an introvert. No, he was out at the club. That's how y'all met, because he was out being a bad boy. He was out there doing bad boy things.